You want no part of this shit.
What is it?
It's the Rockin' Metal Revival!
It's medication for erectile dysfunction. It gives you a boner.
Drink it up!
Not to be used if you have a pre-existing heart condition. If boners last for more than 4 hours, call more ladies.
Welcome to the show!
All right, horns up, metalheads. Time for another edition of Rockin' Metal Revival. How you doing over there, partner?
I'm here. That's
Okay.
all I can say.
We've got to make a promise right now.
Okay.
We're not going to say the word Rocktober all month.
You just did.
No.
You've just ruined it.
What did I say?
I can't say it. You said Disco Dober.
Yeah.
We're going to play disco all this month just because of...
I've already heard it way too much on testicular radio.
Yeah?
It's got to stop.
Well, you got to quit listening to people's nuts. How do you listen
These
to
nuts.
Yeah, get these nuts out of your ears, man.
All right, on today's show, we've got author David D. Sola
Yes.
on our show today, and he wrote the
can
Alice
still-
in
you can-
Chains, The Untold Story.
You can still smell
And
the
you
V
can
in
kinda
here.
Smells, Oh, we're talking about Veronica
Right.
Freeman,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. We can still smell the V.
Yeah.
All right. Big show's coming up. We'll talk more about that a little later. Got some great music. And as always, it will not be entertaining or informative. It'll just be Jerry and I. Nothing's
All
going
right.
to change.
All right. Cool.
All right?
So don't be thinking you're going to learn anything.
Exactly. So we're going to start the show off from their CD America's Least Wanted. Here's Ugly Kid Joe. And this is Neighbor on Rockin' Metal Revival. This would be if somebody moved in next to you and I.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
yeah.
There's the Bullet Boys and Ode to Joe on the Rockin' Metal Revival. I picked that song just because of you, brother.
Got the cowbell.
Got the
I gotta
cowbell in there.
Get a stand for that so it rings better.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
You know, that's one of the bands you're going to be playing before at the Rockin' Skull Fest.
Oh, yeah?
Is the Bullet Boys.
We're gonna be playing with the Bullet Boys.
Bullet
Nice.
Boys, Pretty Boy Floyd, Hardline.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a
That'd
good
be
show.
Crazy.
October 18th, and then October 17th, you'll be in Rockford at Take 20, and on October 16th, you'll be right here in beautiful Rock County.
Janesville.
Janesville.
We're gonna be rocking the county.
That's
we
right.
played at Hammy's on Thursday after we did the show last week. We went
Yeah.
over to Hammy's to the jam. They had a little. Our bass player Andy Glass hosted a little jam thing there. They had all these blues bands and stuff, blues guys playing these freaking long 10-minute fucking jam things. Then V didn't want to do it, but eventually we talked her into it. Took her out there. Man, she was surrounded by lesbians right off the bat, man. It was so fucking funny. She's got so many stories to tell. But man, we went up there, we went through the two Black Sabbath tunes, one right after the other, and just fucking tore the place up and
Walked out.
We were done, man, and left everybody wanting more. They were all wanting another one, and we're like, nope, gonna have to come see us later.
Well, you know, I was able to come to practice last Friday night.
Yeah,
At the Bunker.
Yeah, at the Bunker.
And got to hear Beast in the Field.
Yeah.
And a few of the solo tunes, and if you're a fan of
And
Benedict,
her voice was spent, man.
Yeah.
You should have heard her the first night.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If you're a
She had
fan
to
of
take it easy on Friday.
of
but-
Benedictum or Veronica's solo work,
Yeah.
do not miss these shows.
Yeah, because she's talented.
Oh my
Great
God.
voice. Great.
And she knows exactly when stuff's supposed to be, supposed to coming in and the beats. And
She's a pro, man.
Yeah.
She knows her shit, which is
So,
pretty impressive.
don't miss the V when she comes to Janesville. You know, earlier we just played that song from Asylum.
Yeah, with
Back
Kulik.
September 30th, 1984.
Yeah.
First show Bruce Kulick ever played with Kiss.
Oh, yeah? Were you there?
No.
Oh.
But I did get to see that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he in Ace makeup?
No. See, that's the thing I like about Bruce.
You didn't
Now you're going to get me on that subject.
I know. I'll get you all pissed off.
Yeah. You know, I mean, Bruce survived on his own morals.
Yeah.
On his own guitar playing.
That's why I'm playing Benedictum tunes. I feel kind of like Tommy Thayer.
Yeah, you're the Tommy Thayer Benedictine.
Of the V's version. Nice.
So coming up on today's show, we've got an author, and his name's David DeSola, and he wrote the book Alice in Chains, The Untold Story. And I know you're not a huge fan of the grunge movement, but I never considered Alice in Chains grunge.
No, I don't either. I thought they were just more like a heavy hard rock band. I love the fucking vocal harmonies were really cool. The way those two, their voices meshed. Just cool.
And, you know, I think the problem they had was they wore flannel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were from Seattle. I think that was the two things that lumped them into that grunge scene. Because,
but it got their name out there a lot faster than it would have if they weren't in that group. So
exactly, because look at Tesla. Tesla came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you remember the first couple Tesla videos, some of those guys had flannels on and were playing, you know, when they were doing like modern day cowboy, and they weren't all glammed up because they didn't want to be a hair band.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll talk to him about Alice in Chains coming up next hour. We've got news you can't use.
But it won't be entertaining or informative.
No, that's right. We got news you can't use, metal news, and we've also got news of the weird.
Don't try to use it either.
Yeah.
Because we got it copyrighted.
Well, yeah, I heard that Steve Reamer was like talking like he knew.
Yeah, I let him in on a little thing. I was like, hey.
What, about the size of his...
No. I said, hey, the V's going to be in... at this place at this time if you want to meet her. So he got to meet her, and then I was like, yeah, this is the guy we blamed for sending all those dick pics.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he get his picture taken with her?
No.
Good.
No. But he said, holy crap, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I want to take his picture when he get with the V.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that. All right. So, like I said, coming up, we got news of the weird, news you can't use, and then next hour we'll talk to David DeSola, author of the Alice in Chains book. But right now, what do you say we play something off this new Queensryche album?
Sure.
It's called Condition Human, and this is the title track on Rockin' Metal Revival. From the CD Now or Never, there is the V, Veronica Freeman, and Spellbound, and that was one of the tunes I got to hear you guys play the other night.
Yeah, you heard it like when we were just running through it the first time.
Yeah.
Too, so.
It sounded good.
We're getting it together, man.
You know, dude, this is a band of musicians that probably nobody's heard of yet.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a few musicians in this band that people are going to hear from in the future.
Yeah, these kids are good, man.
Yeah.
They're young and they're fucking hungry and
talented
they can
as hell.
Fuck, yeah, they can play, man.
And give you a rundown. Jerry's playing lead. And, dude, I have to admit.
I call it lead. I'm
dude,
playing lead.
Seriously? You were shredding the other night. I was proud of you.
Oh, it's gonna. I'm starting to get my chops back.
Yeah, and
it's gonna take a while.
It'll be there. And then Andy Glass is our bass player. Andy can play just about anything.
Yeah, he can.
Bass, guitar, drums. He can do it all.
Yeah,
and man, he can hear something
and figure it out.
Yeah,
pretty fucking fast, man. Which is pretty impressive.
On the other guitar, my old co-host who filled in while Jerry was out hugging trees, Andy Bell, his son Rollin.
Yeah.
Who is a shredder.
He's good, man. Yeah. Fuck, he's fucking tight, man.
Yeah, great guitar player. And then on drums, filling out the rhythm section, a guy that can really keep the rhythm, Brad Plouffe.
Yeah.
So come on out and see this show because you're not going to want to miss it.
Hell
and
yeah.
The one in Janesville's no cover.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
And the one in Rockford is $7. You can get the tickets online. Go to take20.com, get your tickets for that. And then, from what I understand, man, Rockin' Skullfest is sold out.
So if you ain't got tickets for that, you're out of luck.
No.
Shit out of luck, man.
Jerry will sign flesh. Just want to let you know, except he won't sign ass.
Unless it's not guy flesh.
Yeah.
Female flesh is okay.
Jerry will sign. So
yes.
Terry and Steve, get a picture.
Get
in
Veronica's line.
Yeah.
Veronica might sign that thing if she's got a pen small enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez.
Had to be one of them.
Bad.
Ink tip, one of those ink pens.
Yeah.
All right. And to news of the weird, Super Freak bandits rob bank disguised as Rick James and Youngblood. Give me your money, bitch. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Smack.
Two men dressed like Rick James and 70s drug dealer Youngblood Priest from Superfly robbed a bank in Indiana on the 19th of September, according to Fox 59.
Nice.
The Super Thieves were armed with guns, and they held up the Indiana Members Credit Union and demanded money from the tellers, according to ABC6. The two men got the funk out of there and fled. with an undisclosed amount of cash.
That was super freaky.
The robbers are still out on the loose, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, in the meantime, the jury's still out on who does a better Rick James impersonation, Dave Chappelle, or these two idiots.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But these guys made more money.
than Dave Chappelle's making right now.
Oh, yeah.
Flying high, 26 pounds of weed falls from sky, destroys doghouse.
Oh, poor dog.
You're never ganja believe this. Did you write that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that clever.
Maya Donnelly awoke to the sound of thunder. Woke last night to the sound of thunder. Okay.
There's a big bag of weed crashing through my roof.
Bob Seger's got nothing on us.
Oh, yeah.
In the early morning hours, but dismissed it as a typical monsoon storm and went back to sleep. Later that morning, she looked into the carport at her home near the U.S.-Mexico border and
Smells
saw
like
pieces
skunk.
of wood all over the ground. She found a bulky bundle wrapped in black plastic. Inside was roughly 26 pounds of marijuana.
Roughly. That's
Roughly.
what she turned in.
Yeah.
It was 30.
It was 52 pounds, but she turned in 26.
Yeah.
A package that authorities say was worth about $10,000 was likely dropped there by accident by a drug smuggling aircraft.
Nice. Nice.
It's all right on the top of her doghouse. Donnelly said of the September 8th incident, which she first reported to the Nogales International newspaper. It just made a perfectly round hole through the carport.
Nice.
Right through the top of the doghouse.
Nice. Good thing their dog wasn't in there.
No kidding. Is the dog going to be okay, Uncle Jerry?
I don't know, man. He'd be stoned. Smells like skunk in the
Sounds like
carport.
skunk, yeah. Oh, guess where we're going now.
Uh-oh. We're going to Florida.
That's right.
Let's go to Florida.
Florida's man accused of stealing $540,000 worth of citrus.
Nice. What do you do? Steal a truck?
Authorities are putting the squeeze on this alleged orange thief.
Orange thief. Oh.
God.
Was it Boehner?
Orange.
Boehner? He's kind of orange.
Orange, you in some trouble now, buddy.
Orange,
You sure you
orange.
didn't write this?
No, I'm not that stupid.
All right, a Florida man is accused of stealing more than 4 million pounds of citrus.
Damn.
Valued at approximately $540,000, officials say that Bradley Ryder of Winter Haven, Florida, agreed to 3 contracts of harvest local citrus groves in March of 2014. Ryder, 61, who is not a licensed citrus dealer, harvested the oranges and grapefruits from the groves, but never paid the grove owners.
Oh, nice.
Florida Commission of Agriculture Adam Putman says that Ryder ranked in nearly 50,000 boxes of fruit from 5 different owners.
Nice. And
Yeah.
never gave him shit for it,
No,
huh?
you got caught, though. And we're going to stay here in Florida. Florida man accused of tossing deadly urine at cop.
Deadly urine?
Says
What?
it right here, deadly.
What? Was there anthrax in it?
I
or
don't know.
what?
Talk about being pissed off, though.
Yeah, holy crap.
I guess it's better to be pissed
holy
off than
piss.
pissed on.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Florida man is behind bars after he accused of tossing a liter of deadly urine at a police officer.
Deadly.
Alfonso Lofton of West Palm Beach, Florida, was arrested last Tuesday morning at
You know how it
Palm
would be
Beach,
deadly?
Florida. What?
If he was pissing razors.
That's right. Oh, that's what's his
that
name's
band.
old band? Yeah. Dewey Bragg.
Yeah.
When the officer knocked on the 40-year-old man's door, the suspect allegedly greeted him with a bag splash of urine from a liter bottle, according to Palm Beach Post.
Have a drink.
Here, have some of this.
What's he doing it in a liter for? What the fuck?
Maybe he had to, like he was in his car and he had to go and he just pissed in a Gatorade bottle or something.
Maybe.
It's unclear who or what supplied the urine. Police are describing the pee as a deadly weapon because urine can cause respiratory infections or permanent bodily harm. You know what? That really takes the fun out of a golden shower, doesn't it?
It does. You could really hurt somebody that
All
way.
right. Well,
Jeez.
I guess he threw the open 1-liter bottle at deputies before grabbing a canine officer by the head. Nice.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people in Florida?
I'm going to throw some piss at a cop today. What the hell? How do you get to that point? Man?
God. Coming up, we've got metal news. And next hour, David De Sola, author of the Alice in Chains, The Untold Story. But right now, these guys got a new album coming out, but here's a classic.
Uh-oh.
From the Headless Children, here's Wasp. This is The Real Me on Rockin' Metal Revival.
Here's your latest hard rock and metal news on Rockin' Metal Revival.
All right, horns up, metalheads. Time for talking real metal. News you can't use. Grab the kids, pull them alongside the speakers, and give them an education.
Just duct tape the speakers right to their
heads, yeah.
Yeah, then they can't miss a word.
Ozzy Osbourne spotted filming for TV show in England. I thought Ozzy would have learned his lesson with the last TV show.
Stay off of the
Ozzy,
TV, Ozzy. Jeez.
Metal Church's Mike Howe on new album says the end result is better than we could have ever hoped for. Well, what was he going to say?
Yeah, and this new album sucks. They should have had Ronnie Monroe singing, man. But hey, go buy it anyways.
Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock planning third studio album. I liked the last album. I thought that was a good album.
Yeah.
And a new concert DVD, so you'll actually get to see the show.
Cool. That would be awesome. I heard it.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to your house and I'm going to stand in front of you, in front
while
of the
I'm
TV.
watching. Then it'll be just like being at a show.
Yeah.
Fucking A, that's awesome.
I'll help you out.
We should start a thing like that, and we can go to every handicapped folks' house and stand in front of them and put a live DVD on so they can feel like they're really there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Black Sabbath to headline Belgium's Grass Pop Metal meeting.
That should be interesting.
We weren't invited, but that's okay.
Maybe the View will be there.
Yeah, Lita Ford's upcoming autobiography is full of dirt.
Really?
Looking forward to that.
You might want to use... It's easier to write on paper than it is dirt.
Yeah.
That's just what I've... So, I mean, I'm not going to buy a book if it's full of dirt.
Yeah.
You should have some words in there and shit,
Hopefully it'll come out as an X-rated movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, an R-rated movie.
Hopefully it's got a lot of pictures.
Yeah. Motley Crue's Vince Neil hangs up on radio DJ after being asked about Metallica beef. Now, I've had Angus beef.
I never heard about
it.
They got beer. I didn't know they had beef.
Beef, yeah.
Okay. It's something to do with the drummers.
Who gives a shit? Queensryche's Todd Latorea's happy fan confusion has almost completely gone away. It's really easy.
So you've heard both
I've heard them both of them.
What do you think?
The Queensryche album's 10 times better.
Yeah.
Striper's Michael Sweet, who Jerry has been cursing out for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Michael, for that fucking guitar solo.
We're always trying to, through our music, give an encouraging message. I like the 2 songs that we've gotten so far from them.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that album. Loudness to release...
They don't pound you in the head with it like they used to.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like they used to with all the God stuff.
Throwing Bibles out in the crowd and stuff, Loudness to release 30th anniversary edition of Thunder in the East album.
Dude, I love that. That's one of my favorite albums from them.
Hell Yeah has begun writing their new album. I thought that was when we had Tom Maxwell on. That was a cool interview, and I really liked that last album from Hell Yeah. Queensryche Michael Wilton. The fans will know who wrote the band's classic songs now.
Yeah, it wasn't
DeGarmo. Graham Bonnet Band signs with Frontier Music. I always like Graham Bonnet's voice. I'm looking forward to that. Megadeth to release new single called Fatal Illusion next month. Looking forward to hear some new Megadeth.
Yeah, be cool.
Bruce Dickinson, the better the musician that you are, the easier it is to make soulless rubbish music.
He's
right. Got a point.
He's got it right, because there's a lot of noodling, and you're just trying to hit as many fucking notes as you can, and it just gets to be
For me,
overkill.
The simpler, the better.
It's overkill. Yeah.
Scorpions' Klaus Meine says, we really don't want to talk about another farewell tour.
We made enough on the last one. We're just going to keep touring for now.
And Sammy Hagar confirms new Chickenfoot music to be coming out real soon. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything
cool.
Sammy's involved in, I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his mellow acoustic album or whatever.
To be honest with you, whatever he does, I don't care.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. And a good attitude.
And a great attitude, Since we talked about loudness, why don't we play something from Thunder in the East?
I thought we already did.
Did we?
No.
All right, let's play Heavy Chains. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, here is Loudness on Rock and Metal Revival.
This portion of Rock and Metal Revival is brought to you by...
Just looking at last week's numbers, Jesus.
What happened to It's Not About the Numbers?
That was before I saw the numbers. I'm so fucked. Okay, tomorrow, 6 a.m., saddle up the troops. I want everyone here, no excuses.
Yikes. 6 a.m.?
Yeah. What time do these pussies normally start?
The pussies normally start a little bit later, but if you want 6, we will do 6.
Good. I want to rip this whole goddamn schedule apart. I want ideas. I want opinions. Tell people I expect them to bring their truth.
I'm not sure everyone has truth.
Then they can bring bagels.
There's Texas Hippie Coalition and the title track from their CD, Rollin', on Rock and Metal Revival.
Rolling.
I'd like to see them again.
I'm always rolling, man.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am. That's the way I roll.
Yeah, but isn't it your theme song from Great White, though?
Yeah. Rockin'.
Rolling Stoned?
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. Not right to this minute, but in about 10 minutes when we're done with this, I might be rolling stone.
All right, well, coming up, we're going to talk to David DeSola. He is the author of a new book out called Alice in Chains, The Untold Story, and a lot of shit went down up in the upper Midwest, upper Northwest, I should say, back in the early 90s when that whole grunge thing was going on, when Soundgarden and Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains were ruling the radio, and the only band that I really dug out of that whole thing was Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
And over the past few years, I've seen Alice in Chains probably about 5 or 6 times, and I was lucky enough to see him once with Lane.
Yeah, that's cool.
This whole story that he's written, we'll find out if he had to talk to the band, because Jerry Cantrell's a pretty private guy.
Yeah.
I've been to some shows where I was backstage, and when it was time for Alice in Chains to come out into the area before they went up, and everybody had to clear out, and I mean everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit. The one show I was at, I was standing backstage, I was talking to Rudy Sarzo and one of the guys from Blackstone Cherry, and the security guy goes, you guys got to go. And Rudy's like, I'm in Queensryche.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I don't give a shit who you are. This thing says nobody. And they meant it.
Oh, geez.
I mean, nobody.
Nice.
So,
jeez.
yeah. So, all right. So we're going to talk to him coming up. The book is awesome. Check out the book. Like
Wonder
I said,
if I can do that when I play out.
You can.
Okay.
We can make that happen for you. So we're gonna play. Let's play one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs. I love this song to this day. This is "Man in the Box,"
and we're gonna play the version where they cuss and everything, not like the radio where
pussies.
They blink it out.
Yeah,
Can't say shit. Come on.
This is from Facelift. This is Alice in Chains, "Man in the Box" on Rockin' Metal Revival. From the CD Facelift, there's Alice in Chains and "Man in the Box" on Rockin' Metal Revival. And dude, for a long time, I always blamed grunge for killing metal.
Yeah. But I don't consider Alice in Chains really grunge.
I never have either. And reading their new book, The Story of Alice in Chains, I want to bring on the author of a great new book about Alice in Chains, Mr. David DeSola. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. How's it going?
It's going great. And I just seen Alice in Chains a couple of weeks ago and then got the book and read it. And one of my favorite bands from back in the 90s. How did you get interested in writing a book about Alice in Chains?
Well, about 4 years ago, I was doing my master's at Georgetown, and I was also doing summer school, and I was also working at 60 Minutes. So I had a lot of work on my plate at home. And one night, had a late night reading session, and I just put on the Dirt album for the first time in a very long time. And after I finished listening to it, I thought, there's got to be a book on these guys somewhere. So I went looking for one, didn't find it, and at that point, I got the idea of writing it myself.
All right. Well, from stories I've heard about the band, they've been pretty private about their goings-on with the band over the years, the drug habits that eventually took 2 of their members. Was it easier now that time has passed to get them to talk a little bit more about these topics?
Well, the band wasn't involved with the book, but I mean, people who were in their orbit during various periods, the people who knew them, yes, I think they were. I think, Lane passed away in 2002, so that'd be 13 years ago, and Mike Starr passed away in 2011, about 6 months before I started working on this. I did 5 or 6 reporting trips to Seattle over the years, and I just touched base with as many people as I could, from people who knew them from back in the day, from the local music scene, former bandmates, because they were all previously in other local bands before getting together and forming Alice. I think one thing that did help, I think, had been the passage of, especially with Lane, was the passage of time. I think, if I tried to do this, a year or a couple months after he had died, I think people would have been a little more resistant to talk. But because of that, I think people were a little more willing to open up and talk about who he really was. Mike Starr, he had just passed, obviously, but I found several of his friends and who were willing to talk to me, and they definitely helped shed some light on his life, both before, during, and after Alice in Chains.
So did you have some leftover stories you weren't able to fit in?
Oh, quite a few, actually. It's funny. My big concern when I was starting this was that I was going to come up short on material. And I guess, when you're just starting out and, you've got, 125, 150,000 words to write, you're just like, oh my God, where am I going to get all this stuff? And by the time I was submitting the draft to the publisher, it was exactly the opposite. I had to cut stuff down.
Oh, man.
So all the essential stuff is in the book, but the stuff that I cut out were, I had more quotes, either from my own interviews or from other sources, articles, magazines, etc. I also had a lot of documents, police, court records, and things like that, and I cited a lot more of those as well. So I just cut as much as I possibly could. So I mean, there were just there were a few there were some things that I had written longer. There's this great story of Lane and his friend doing a big wheel races down a freeway off ramp in downtown Seattle. They wiped out and they came home. And they're like all bloody and stretched up, whatever. And so there were a few more quotes, and I think I cut that down from about what would have been like a page long to about 2 paragraphs, basically 1 or 2 paragraphs. So it was a matter of just trimming it down as much as I could, and without sacrificing the gist and the substance of what I was trying to tell.
Yeah.
David, I've never really considered Alice in Chains as part of the grunge movement. Do you think the band was lumped into that scene because of geography?
I think geography and timing. I mean, if you look at Faceless came out in August of 1990, and it's interesting because everybody associates grunge with Nevermind. And don't get me wrong, Nevermind was a monster album, but if you look at the timing of things, Alice were the first ones out of the gate in terms of putting out a record. Faceless came out in August of 1990. Pearl Jam's 10 came out in August of 91. Nevermind in September, and Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger in October. So, I mean, you had this whole trifecta, all these things happening very quickly. Those 3 bands just blew up like boom, boom, boom. And then by that point, Alice, I guess, was wrapping up touring behind Facelift, and they were starting to put together Dirt, and they would record that in the spring of 92. So by the time Dirt comes out, grunge is already huge. So I think what would have happened there is, I think, by combination of geography and timing, and also the fact that they had shot a scene for the movie Singles, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
The labels. I think the labels sort of repackaged them as sort of a grunge band, even though, depending on who you talk to, either, Alice or Soundgarden, probably the most straight up metal of the bunch of that whole era. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, they're pretty unabashed in their metal roots. I mean, Mike Starr played bass in a local band called Sado, which was named after an Ozzy Osbourne song. I mean, they were heavily influenced by Iron Maiden. They had the sort of twin guitar thing going on at the time. That was pretty big. And Jerry was in a band called Diamond Lie, which Alice in Chains used that name later on, but he had a different band called Diamond Lie in Tacoma, which was, I talked to Jerry's bandmates from that period, and they were, long, 80s glam rock. They were into, Poison and Kiss and that kind of stuff. So it was, they were very much a product of their times and their environment, and I think the grunge label gets labeled on them because of, a combination of, I think, sound, I think timing, I think marketing. And, to some extent, I guess the image. I mean, they didn't wear, I don't know if there's a couple of shirts of their shots of them wearing flannel and Doc Martens and, they had goatees and stuff. So, I mean, all that stuff kind of got hoisted onto them, but they very much were kind of their own separate animal to begin with. Even if you talk to them today, I think they'll tell you the same thing.
Now, I've seen the band 5 times with this new lineup, but I was only able to see the main lineup once. Now, do you think that hurt or helped the band's popularity with fans that it was so hard to get to see Alice in Chains?
The original? Oh, were you talking about Alice with Lane?
Yeah.
When did you see them?
I saw them early. I saw them on the Kiss farewell tour.
That was '96. Yeah, that was those were Lane's last shows. Mm-hmm. Wow. You got to remember that. So I mean, if you look at videos of them. There's tons of bullets on the internet. You look at videos of them from like the early days, like 90, 91, 92. I mean, they're just this ferocious young live band, and they're putting on a hell of a show every night. But once Wayne's dope album started escalating, it certainly affected the band's overall ability to function. You'll notice that the last year they did a significant touring with Wayne was 1993. They did a couple of shows here and there. You remember Unplugged, and then they did the 4 or 5 shows opening for Kiss in the summer of '96, and those were Wayne's final public performances. And then he basically became sort of a recluse until he passed away 6 years later. And the band regrouped with William in I think 2006. So I mean that's about a decade of inactivity, at least for them as a unit. I mean that's a long time for anybody to be out of the game in any profession, whether it's music or politics or anything else. So yeah, I mean it's I think it's I think they had to reintroduce themselves in a way as well as introducing the new guy. And that was one of the issues that they had to deal with. I mean, Wayne's girlfriend's mother told me that one thing that he kind of resented was the idea of that he was sort of being singled out as the junkie in the band when everyone she told me all those guys had their issues at the time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, but I guess him being kind of so honest in his lyrics, and him being the lead singer kind of automatically gets you more attention. I mean, I don't know, just I think it's just the nature of the beast, I guess. But it's, I do think that long hiatus, that long period of inactivity, that inability to tour, that was a huge detriment to them.
I think you go through their catalog with Lane, and every album has its own persona, and I think that Unplugged performance they did for MTV really set them apart from a lot of bands.
Yeah, and I think they were, and I talked to Alex Coletti, who was the producer on a lot of those MTV Unplugs. He did Pearl Jam, he did Nirvana, he did, almost all of them, basically. So, I mean, he's telling me that, of all of those bands, I think they seem to be, almost the most suited for that era. I mean, Nirvana, probably the most famous, obviously, because it's, considered, I guess, their final sort of masterpiece before, at least as an album before Cobain's death. But, Alice, I mean, they had already done 2 acoustic EPs, so they were already sort of dabbling into that territory by the time they accepted that invitation to do that show. So, in a way, it was kind of, they were very well suited for the format.
So are we going to see another rock book from you, or is the next one going to go another direction?
Another direction. I mean, never say never, but there's guys like Mick Wall and Stephen Davis and so forth who do David Ritz, who do a great job, and they specialize in rock books. I might do one down the road, but for now I'm developing 2 other projects completely different, not music or rock related. But never say never. If the right if the right story comes along and then gets my interest, and find I have enough, and there's enough there for a book, I'll gladly do it.
So
any suggestions?
Yeah, I think you should make a movie out of this one.
Well, that decision is not my call. So,
how about the history of cowbell?
The history of cowbell.
Cowbell? Yeah, and rock and roll.
God.
Yeah.
And do you think
you could do? The guy can get an interview with Will Ferrell and character as the guy from Blue Oyster Cult, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Now we know you're an Alice in Chains fan just from hearing you say that you were listening to the Dirt album, and we always let the artist pick a song coming out of here. What's your favorite Alice in Chains song?
Ooh, it's interesting. I mean, I was in middle school when all this stuff happened, so I was just I heard all these bands from that period, so it's there's a certain element of nostalgia for me, I guess, whenever I hear any of the Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice, Soundgarden, and all the other bands from that period, that emerged from that period. So, I mean, I wrote this book as a straight-up biography as much as I could. I'd handle it the same way I would have written a book about, president or prime minister. So, I mean, it wasn't a fan tribute, but, yes, I do enjoy their music, and I can certainly understand and appreciate it a lot more. Having said all that, I think I gravitate more toward a deeper cut.
Okay.
I would go either with Real Thing on Facelift or Right Turn from the Sap EP.
All right. And David, can you tell everybody where they can find out more about your book and where they can pick it up?
Book is available at Barnes and Noble and pretty much any major bookstore. I saw it at a bookstore at the terminal at LAX a couple of weeks ago. It's a little surreal. That was a first for me.
Nice.
And you can get on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any online retailer. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. And here's Alice in Chains on Rock and Metal Revival. From the CD Going to Hell, there is The Pretty Reckless and Going to Hell.
Yeah.
On Rock and Metal Revival. We saw them not too long ago.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought they were good, man.
Great live band. She can fucking sing, too.
Yeah. I don't know about the fucking, but she can sing.
We'll find out someday, I hope.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does your wife know about that, or is she going to be involved? Because I want to take pictures, so.
Okay, yeah.
That'll get some hits on the Facebook.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some hits done. All right, so we want to thank David De Sola for coming on the show.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, digging Alice in Chains,
I'm waiting
the
for the
Untold
movie.
Story. Jerry's waiting for the movie. And coming up next week, who are we going to have next week? Madam Mayhem?
I don't know. Yeah, we could have that. Or,
yeah, why don't we have Madam Mayhem on the show next week?
Okay. We'll be like interchanging guys, girls, guy, girl.
Yeah.
Kinda.
And then...
is that politically correct for us?
I can't tell you who's going to be on the week
after that.
The 15th, 16th, 17th.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on, because this studio is going to have a bed in it.
Yeah, well, I might have a guest where the bed's going to have to move.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, that can be taken care of, I guess.
We'll have the V sit third chair on the interview.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she knows the guy we're going to interview.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it going to be on the radio? I mean, phone call interview?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she knows the guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when this is over, I'll tell you who. Well, I might not tell you.
You probably won't tell me anyways.
So until next week, we're getting the hell on out of here. Have a good weekend, everybody. What do you say we go out with a little cowbell from Jackal? What do you think?
Okay. I'm good with that.
All right. Until next weekend, don't drink and drive.
Smoke and fly.
Peace.
This brings to an end another edition of Rock and Metal Revival. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell two. Until next time, this is Rock and Metal Revival.
Dude, this is fucking weak. How could things be any worse?
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radios on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.